wrote our letter there, children in school.
Oh,
It was a very interesting thing.
Funny, I catch that once in a while. Yeah, there's like an old form.
warm up. The City of Riverbank Regular City Council and Local Redevelopment Authority Board meetings are now in session. Today is Tuesday, October 22nd, 2019. It is 6 p.m. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have anyone from the minute? No, we don't. Okay, please be seated. Roll call, please.
Council Authority Member District 1, Luis Uribe.
Here.
Council Authority Member District 2, Cindy Fossey. Here. Council Authority Member District 3, Cal Campbell.
Here.
Vice Mayor Chair Darlene Barber Martinez. Here. Mayor Chair Richard D. O'Brien.
Here. There will be no changes to the agenda. Conflicts of interest. Any council or authority member or staff who has a direct conflict of interest on any scheduled agenda item to be considered is to declare their conflict at this time. Seeing none, we're going to move to public comment. At this time, members of the public may comment on any item not appearing on the agenda and within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council LRA Board. The individual comments will be limited to a maximum of 5 minutes per person, and each person may speak once during this time. Time cannot be yielded. Under state law, matters presented during public comment period cannot be discussed or acted upon. For record purposes, state your name and city of residence. Please make your comments directly to the City Council LRA Board. Are there any public comments? Please come up.
Hello, my name is Lourdes Chavez. I live in Riverbank. I'm here to comment on a citation of illegal fireworks I received in July of this year. I was just kind of going back and forth with about the situation. I was told that I was going to maybe work out something out, but apparently nothing can be done because I paid for the citation, which doesn't really make sense to me because I almost was left with no choice but to pay the citation in order to appeal it in the first place. I also wanted to comment on how Donna Kennedy admitted that there was either 1 or 2 citations that she was not 100% sure. I think that's a lot of money to cite someone and not be 100% sure. I also think that there needs to be more evidence, like at least pictures or some kind of video. To be citing someone $1,000. That's a lot of money. We also both swore under oath, so I'm just wondering why her word is more valuable than my word, because it's really just word by word for word. And that's all I have to say.
Is there any other public comment?
Mayor and Council, good to be with you. Is this thing up?
Oh, not yet.
That's up.
Okay.
Mayor and Council, good to be with you. Russell Fowler, Assembly Member Heath Lohr's office. I just wanted to say that it was good to be in the community on, I believe it was Sunday, to present certificates of recognition to the boys that were promoted to Eagle Scout for Troop 1,100. So that was good to see that, and I know they're making the city of Riverbank very proud. So the other update that I have is, you may remember last time I was here, I updated you on the bills that were on the governor's desk. Unfortunately, he decided to veto those bills, so we didn't get any winners this session, but we'll be back for the next one. So can't have that party I promised last time. And the other thing I wanted to just mention here was, unfortunately, this will be my last council meeting. I'm leaving the office at the end of the month, so it's just been a pleasure to cover the district for you, and I know that you guys will be well covered because it's important to the assembly member. So with that being said, are there any comments or questions for me?
Just want to say thank you for your service. Appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Any further public comment?
Hi, I just have an invitation I wanted to give.
Please state your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ava Nash, City of Riverbank, representing Community Praise Tabernacle. We are going to have a community family fest this Saturday from 3 to 5:30. It's free and open to the community. There's going to be bounce houses and snow cones and carnival games and a lot of family fun, and that's for our community service that we're doing. Another thing I wanted to announce, I'll leave the flyers over there with Marisela, is we're going to have our annual Thanksgiving feast. We'll be getting the information out to Christian Food Sharing and St. Vincent de Paul's also. So that will be on Tuesday, November 12th from 6:30 to 7:30. And that's all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Council and Mayor, good evening. Leanne Jones-Cruz, Riverbank resident. I am here to actually introduce someone to you who's going to have their public comment in just a second. I'm really pleased to say that we have worked really hard with downtown businesses, and they have actually formed a business coalition. And so tonight I'm here to introduce the president of that business coalition, Pete DeMattis, and the vice president, Dana Friedman. So I'm going to turn it over to them. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Dano Freeman, Riverbank resident. Pete actually has something that he wrote, so I'm gonna let him.
Good evening. My name is Pete DeMattis. I'm a Modesto resident and co-owner of Kiwi's Custom Guns. I'm here with Dano Friedman, Riverbank resident and owner of Soul Patch Tattoos, and we're here to introduce our newly formed organization, the Downtown Riverbank Business Coalition. And we're a group of business owners with locations in the heart of downtown. And our mission is to work together to promote the downtown area and attract the public to come and shop in our stores, dine in the restaurants, and utilize our services. And we want to do that together as a group. We're organized and be very professional. Over the coming months, we're going to be offering some suggestions, some demands, and we wish to work with the city to expand and enhance the work that's been done to develop the downtown area and the beautification already. So just thank you for your time, and look forward to working with you guys and your continued support of our businesses.
Thank you.
You want to say anything?
Thanks, God. I'm good.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Any other further comments? Seeing none, we proceed to consent calendar consisting of 3A waived readings. Item 3B, approval of September 24th, 2019, City Council and Local Redevelopment Authority Board minutes. Item 3B1, approval of October 8th, 2018, City Council and Local Redevelopment Authority Board minutes. Item 3C, acceptance of the VSS International, Inc. Pavement Restoration Project 2019 and authorization to file a notice of completion. Item 3D, resolution number 2019-091, authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement for legal services with Shear Elding LLP. Is there any comments, questions on any of the consent items? Is there anyone wishing from the public to address any of these items? I bring it back for the council's consideration.
I make a motion, we approve the consent calendar.
I'll second it.
We have a motion to approve and a second on the consent calendar.
Council Authority Member District 1 Uribe,
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 2 Fossey,
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 3 Campbell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chair Barbara Martinez,
Yes.
Mayor Chair O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Item 4.1, second reading by title only and adoption of proposed ordinance number 2019-006, adding a new chapter 126, sidewalk vending, to title 11, business regulations of the Riverbank Municipal Code of Ordinance.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, Council. This item is consistent with the first reading, which you may recall was a second pass after Council had asked for some changes to the code, and we confirmed with the City Attorney's Office that everything is consistent with the new sidewalk vending law. So no changes since the last report. Happy to be addressing any of those if you have any questions.
None. This is a public hearing. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, I bring it back to the council for consideration.
I'll make a motion we approve item 4.1 stated.
I'll second it.
We have a motion to approve item 4.1 and a second.
Council Authority Member District 1 Uribe.
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 2 Fossey.
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 3 Campbell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chair Barbara Martinez.
Yes.
Mayor Chair O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Item 5, public hearings. Item 5.1, Crossroads West Specific Plan Residential Map Project. 1, first reading by title only, introduction of ordinance number 2019-007, approving a development agreement by and between the City of Riverbank and the Machado parties and the Herringfield parties, Crossroads West Specific Plan. And 2, a resolution number 2019-092, approving preliminary development plan 2018-002, and tentative map 2018-005, a large lot map by the Machado parties et al. For the Crossroads West Specific Plan, and resolution number 2019-093, approving preliminary development plans 2018-0003, and tentative map 2018-0006, a small lot map by the Machado parties et al. For the Crossroads West Specific Plan, and a resolution number 2019-094, approving preliminary development plans 2018-0004, and tentative map 2018-0007, large lot map by the Herringfield parties for et al. For the Crossroads West Specific Plan.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, Council. Donna Kenny, our Planning and Building Manager, is going to walk you through the bulk of this, these 4 approvals this evening. But this action this evening and our actions represent essentially the last set of approvals for the Crossroads West Specific Plan area. This is essentially the entire residential component of this project. Approval of these items tonight will essentially move this project forward to the next stage, which will be improvement plans and then building. So we're very excited. This is a product of, for the folks that are in the audience, some of the landowners, decades of work, and for many of us that work here for the city, many, many years. So we're excited. Go ahead, Donna.
Okay, just so we're clear, that's not entirely true, because we have 2 large lot maps and a small lot map today, and the 2 large lot maps will have subdivisions coming before the city council over the next 15, 20 years. So there will be some more approvals, but the bulk of it and having the land covered with at least 1 approval will be hopefully accomplished tonight. Thank you. Okay, so as the mayor mentioned, this is for the residential map project. Oops, got the wrong page here. Okay, so just to refresh people's memory, this is a specific plan area. At the very lower end, we have the commercial area, which is Broman and already has approvals. And then between the 2 canals is the area of the residential projects. For those who don't know, maybe are watching at home, that's Oakdale Road to the right and Clarabelle across the bottom. Here's the specific plan land use diagram that we've been seeing over the past couple years. The light yellow are the residential areas, as well as some dark yellow and brown, which is some multifamily. So the Machado large lot map area is what's hatched in red there. That's Oakdale Road to the right and Clarabelle and the Broman project to the south. This map proposes 23 large lots, as you can see. The 2 large lots that kind of have the cross hatching at the upper left-hand side are some parcels that may be purchased by the school district, so we may have our schools right there. Across the middle there, we have Crawford Road, and as you can see, the alignment changes, and as these subdivisions come forward, the city and the developer will address the concerns of the Crawford Road folks to make sure traffic doesn't make its way through there. Here's a preliminary development plan. It just kind of gives you an idea of how lots might fall onto these different large lots that we're talking about. Again, that's Crawford Road that curves up during the middle. And then you'll notice, too, there's a north-south road, which could eventually be named Machado Parkway. Oops. Heavy-handed there. Okay. And we'll continue on to the Machado small lot map area. That's Oakdale Road to the right in Crawford. It's not to scale. I personally drew that myself, so you can get an idea of the location of this small lot map. And here's the map itself. It shows 182 lots and the circulation system. There's a drainage basin across the parkway that I just had mentioned, with the possible school lots on the opposite side. So this is Crawford Road along the bottom and Oakdale Road along the east side. And here is the preliminary development plan that kind of shows you how lots could be laid out. This one is special in that it's also proposing a section of the map could be senior housing if a project comes forward and a developer is interested. So we had them kind of pull that out and show you how that might look if there is a senior, possibly gated project as part of this larger subdivision. And then this is the Herigfeld large lot map area. And we have Oakdale Road is still on your right. The Morel Road runs along the bottom, and then the canal over the top. It's only the crosshatched part, although from the crosshatch to Oakdale Road is included in the specific plan. It's not part of this Herigfeld project. So here's the large lots that you may see out of the Herigfeld map. You can see the sports complex and then the large rectangular piece next to it with the, thank you. Oh, just use it. Oh, there we go. Okay. So our sports complex is in here, the existing sports complex. In this area may be a proposed expansion, but this part in through here is the Herigfeld lots, and there's 4 large lots with an area that could contain a city well site right there and some possible circulation to reach that. Whoa, way too heavy-handed. Sorry about that. Okay. So that's what the maps are all about. We have both the large lots and the small lots, like I mentioned. Part of this is also a development agreement between all the parties, which for our home audience is they're binding contracts, and then they give some certainty to the land development process. The developer knows what his rights and his obligations are for the duration of the development agreement. So for this, it's 20 years. So then in exchange for this right, the developer will do certain public facilities, including water and sewer, construction of roads, undergrounding of utilities, and then installation of traffic signals. Some of these will be actually reimbursed by the city through payment of the fees that the developer provides. This is just too much for me here. There we go. Let's see, I did that one. Okay. So then one of the common practices for the developer is to pay into the city's system development fee program. That the development agreement memorializes and binds the developer to the conditions of approval that we have negotiated. Some of the technical conditions of approval will regulate engineering and water flow. And then the conditions also vest the city's right to review and approve architecture, landscaping, and public fixtures. There's also a mitigation and monitoring report program that there are measures that came about due to the environmental document, the EIR, that was analyzed and approved. And those issues within the EIR are from air quality to transportation, biology, water. So these mitigation measures, only the ones that relate to the residential projects will be enforced. One of those is agriculture preservation policies. Okay, so another piece of this has to do with the formation of a CFD to help with park financing. The city manager may have some comments to add on that.
Yes, I just wanted to add, one of the components that's going to be slightly different from how the city has traditionally, could be slightly different from how the city has traditionally handled park development in its residential projects, is that we have included an option in this document, this development agreement, that would allow for the developer and the city to come up with a community facilities district, which is essentially a fee on the property tax of each individual property that would mirror or closely mirror the park fee that they would pay under our system development fees. So the value that we see is that whereas development may occur over a very long time, and as fees come in for parks, sometimes those are very staggered amounts of money, and depending on how things work out with the developer, it can sometimes cause super complicated accounting that requires us to figure out who gets reimbursed for what improvements. The CFD option the primary benefit from the city's perspective is it would give the city itself more control over when and how the parks are installed in these areas, because the city could use those CFD fees to go out and acquire bonds, so large blocks of money to complete the entire park versus phased approaches, which you kind of more commonly see in other subdivisions. So this actually was an idea that the developers brought up as a possible alternative to just the common SDF program where they pay at time of occupancy on the building permit. We, from a staff perspective, really like the idea. We think it gives the city a lot more latitude in how the parks go in. Talked a lot about it with the Parks and Rec director. That's the one component here that's maybe a little different than what you've commonly seen in our other development agreements. So just wanted to highlight that.
Thank you. So the recommendation is that council take the following actions: to introduce for first reading the ordinance for the development agreement, to adopt a resolution that approves the Machado large lot map and PDP, a resolution that approves the Machado small lot map and PDP, and then finally the resolution that approves the Herigfeld map and PDP. Thank you. I'd be happy to answer any questions, and I know the developer is here as well.
Are there any comments or questions? None. This is a public hearing. Anyone wishes to provide input on this proceedings, please come forward.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council, this is nice, all this project, what we're doing, building all these homes and everything. How about building a hotel or a motel or a 3-story apartment instead of all these little dwellings? We want to tighten up this city, man. And we need, if you build up, you're going to have more people, more businesses. That's the way I look at it. Maybe it's all wrong, but you guys forgive an old man. You know how it is. Thank you for your time.
Mayor and Council, Dave Romano on behalf of the landowners. It's a great pleasure to be here. I do want to thank my clients, the Machado family. Randy Hyde Jr. is here representing his family. Karna and Chris Herigfeld are here on behalf of the Herigfeld family. Our counsel, George Petrolakis, Sean Tobin from Mid-Valley Engineering. They've all invested a substantial amount of resources to this project. They've been involved a number of years and are excited to bring it here to this point for final approval. We're also thankful for your staff. They've really gone above and beyond. They've spent a lot of time with us. They've been available when we've needed them to communicate, to negotiate this development agreement, to review these maps, to make sure that we get here. And so we're appreciative of that as well. We're looking for approval this evening to move this project forward towards development. And on, just to respond to the last speaker, one of the things I think is important to know is this project has 3 multifamily sites. They give us an opportunity to build 2- and 3-story walk-ups. And we actually worked on the Broman property to make sure that hospitality and hotels was a possible land use in there. So we've accommodated, we think, what are some of the community needs in addition to single-family housing. And so we're just thankful for the opportunity to work with your staff to bring this project to this point. Your Planning Commission has recommended this to you unanimously for approval, and we're all here to answer any questions the council may have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any further public input? Seeing none, I close the public hearing. I bring it back to the council. Is there any other discussion or consideration? If not, we're going to take each one of these separately.
I'll make a motion, we approve item 5.1, item 1.
I'll second it.
Okay, I'd like to make sure that we're reading it out, too.
Sure.
That's the first reading by title only, introduction of ordinance number 2019-007, approving a development agreement by and between the City of Riverbank and Machado Party and the Herringfeld Parties Crossroads West Pacific Plan. We have a first and a second.
Council Authority Member District 1 Uribe.
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 2 Fossey.
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 3 Campbell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chair Barbara Martinez.
Yes.
Mayor Chair O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
On item 5.1.2, a resolution number 2019-092, approving preliminary development plans 2018-0002 and tentative map 2018-0005, a large lot map by the Machado Parties et al. For the Crossroads West Specific Plan.
I place a motion to accept number 2, adopting the resolution.
I'll second it.
We have a motion to approve 5.1.2 and a second.
Council Authority Member District 1 Uribe.
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 2 Fossey.
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 3 Campbell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chair Barbara Martinez.
Yes.
Mayor Chair O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Item 5.1.4, a resolution number 2019-94, approving preliminary development plans 2018-0004 and a tentative map 2018-0007, a large lot map by the Herringfeld Parties et al. For the Crossroads West Specific Plan.
Mayor, you skipped number 3.
I had it marked off. But I can do that out of order.
Yes, you may, if
Thank
you like
you.
to.
So we're doing 5.
So we are on 5.14.
Yes, we are.
Okay, and I make a motion, we approve item 5.14.
I'll second it.
We have a motion to approve item 5.14 and a second.
Council Authority Member District 1 Uribe.
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 2 Fossey.
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 3 Campbell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chair Barbara Martinez.
Yes.
Mayor Chair O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
5.13, a resolution number 2019-93 approving preliminary development plan 2018-003 and tentative map 2018-0006, a small lot map by the Machado parties et al. For the Crossroads West specific plan.
I make a motion to approve item 5.13.
I second.
We have a motion to approve 513 and a second.
Council Authority Member District 1 Uribe?
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 2 Fossey?
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 3 Campbell?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chair Barbara Martinez?
Yes.
Mayor Chair O'Brien?
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
thank you.
Thank you.
Item 5.2, conduct the public hearing process and table the consideration to adopt a resolution approving revised rates for solid waste disposal services based on the Consumer Price Index percentage increase.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to have our Assistant City Manager, we're going to request that council table the item, but she'll explain why.
Mayor and council members, since the approval of the franchise agreement with Jilton Solid Waste 5 years ago, we had built in automatic CPI increases of no more than 2.5% per year. This year, we were proposing that 2.5% based on the CPI over the past year, which was actually 2.7%. But after some legal review, we believe that we may need to conduct a rate study in order to continue that. Although we extended the franchise agreement, that particular section with regards to the rates may not have been extended due to Proposition 218 regulation. So we'd like to table this discussion until legal review is complete, and we will bring forward any recommendation from there.
Okay. Any comments or questions? This is a public hearing. I open this up to public comment, even though this will be tabled. Seeing no public comment, I close public hearing.
I make a motion, we table item 5.2.
I'll second it.
We have a first and a second to table 5.2.
Council Authority Member District 1 Uribe?
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 2 Fossey?
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 3 Campbell?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chair Barbara Martinez?
Yes.
Mayor Chair O'Brien?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Conduct a public hearing of 5.3. Conduct the public hearing process and continue the public hearing to consider the adoption of a resolution to place a utility lien on real property for delinquent wastewater charges.
Thank you, Mayor. As was the case last meeting, the City Attorney's Office has requested one more continuance on this item to November 12th to complete legal review and legal documents. They have they're in the process of being completed and formulated and will be fully complete by the November 12th date. And be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions or comments from the council? This is a public hearing. I open the public for hearing. Public hearing. Any comments? Seeing none, I close the public hearing.
I make a motion that we continue the public hearing on item 5.3.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to continue item 5.3.
Council Authority Member District 1 Uribe?
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 2 Fossey?
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 3 Campbell?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chair Barbara Martinez?
Yes.
Mayor Chair O'Brien?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Again. Item 6.1, a resolution to approve the execution of a side letter number 1 and add cannabis delivery to the development agreement ordinance number 2018-001 between the City of Riverbank and PAC AFI Cooperative doing business as Flavors, a commercial cannabis dispensary.
Thank you very much, Mayor. On September 10th, the City Council approved a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a side letter agreement with Riverbank Cannabis Company to allow for cannabis deliveries within the city of Riverbank. At that time, staff advised that in the interest of equity and fairness amongst dispensaries within city limits, that staff would reach out to Flavors Dispensary regarding whether or not they were interested in the same delivery allowance. Flavors Dispensary, after thinking about it, indicated to me that they would also be interested in a similar side letter allowing for delivery. As I stated last time, delivery is an allowed use within our cannabis ordinance, and technically the Bureau of Cannabis Control license type that Flavors Dispensary has currently allows for deliveries. The development agreement at the time of approval contained no provisions for delivery, nor was discussed at the time. The city attorney has reviewed the request and has advised that the city council in its discretion may direct me to, and the city attorney to execute a side letter agreement with Riverbank Dispensaries for delivery operations under their current development agreements. If council is interested in this direction, staff, as was which would conform with the prior approval for Riverbank Cannabis Collective, would recommend this request be granted under a trial pilot basis of 1 year with options for extension for the remainder of the current term of the DA with council approval after the initial year. In addition, the proposed side letter will require that a security plan currently on file be amended and transmitted to Planning and Police Services to account for the delivery use. And it should be noted that this approves delivery within Riverbank limits, and we obviously have no jurisdiction to allow delivery outside of our own city limits, but they certainly could request approvals to do that from those jurisdictions as well. The financial impact: currently Flavors Dispensary has entered into the third tier of their public benefit fee payment structure, which requires a base payment of $18,000 per month or 5% of gross receipts, whichever is greater. Aside, I think, from the first month, Flavors has consistently submitted benefit payments that were 5% of gross receipts. It is possible that depending on the popularity of their delivery service, that this would add to their public benefit payment, though I can't quantify that at this time. So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions?
Yeah, I've got a question. I think this is a great idea. My only concern is when they're delivering it, that they make sure they're delivering it to people that are of the correct age. Other than that, I'm supporting it.
Any other questions? There public comment on this item? Seeing no public comment, I bring this back for consideration.
I'll make a motion, we approved item 6.1, option 1, authorizing the side letter agreement.
I'll second it.
Well, a motion to approve item 6.1, option 1, authorizing the city manager and the city attorney to create and execute a side letter agreement.
Council Authority Member District 1 Uribe?
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 2 Fossey?
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 3 Campbell?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chair Barbara Martinez?
Yes.
Mayor Chair O'Brien?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Item 6.2, a resolution to approve the employment agreement between the City of Riverbank and Michael Rydell as Public Works Director and interim Riverbank Local Redevelopment Authority Director, and authorize the city manager to execute the agreement.
Thank you, Mayor. As council is aware, the Riverbank Ammo Depot has been in the process of transition from Army ownership to city ownership over the past many years. One of the properties is under the Economic Development Conveyance Agreement has been transferred to the city ownership, with the remainder of the property to be to be transferred in 2020. The city has been without a LRA director since March of 2018. Initially, myself, along with the assistant city manager, assumed day-to-day responsibilities commonly handled by the RLRA director. However, over the past year, the city has been actively engaged in negotiation with the master developer, and the idea is an eventual transition of the Riverbank Industrial Complex into private ownership and an expanded industrial center. During this period, we have needed assistance as we have been focused on that component of the project with the day-to-day operations. Our Public Works Director has informally assisted with some of the day-to-day management on site, and a large portion of our resources were directed elsewhere. after I did an ongoing sort of review of operational needs, and that really what we need is an interim manager to get us to eventual transfer to a private developer, it was clear to me that formalizing Michael's ongoing help at the LRA is required, even though it may not be for all that long if we're able to complete our master developer agreement in the short term. The duties of the LRA director are a number of them, but primarily what Mike will be helping with is sort of the on-site management, the construction projects that are consistently going on out there, as well as a variety of tenant and landlord issues that come with managing a large industrial site. The city council, in an effort to formalize this agreement, gave direction to the city manager and city attorney with regard to the employment agreement that is attached to your staff report. One of the additional components that was added was Mr. Riddell has agreed to an extension of his contract as Public Works Director, which was set to expire in February of 2021, which will now expire in February of 2022. All of the other components with regard to that will stay the same in this agreement. So when Mr. Riddell approaches retirement, he has still a lengthy notice period, as well as a period where we anticipate hiring a public works director behind him that will work side by side until that person eventually takes over. Just in case you don't know, Mr. Riddell has been employed with the City of Riverbank since December of 2011. Prior to that, he was employed by the City of Sirius for 27 years as both a supervisor and public works superintendent. He has over 34 years of experience in the public sector. Under the terms of the agreement, Mr. Riddell will receive a 7% pay increase for interim LRA director duties. When the plant is transferred to a master developer and those services are no longer needed, the title and associated out-of-class pay will be eliminated. In addition, the attached employment agreement represents a 3% salary increase for the Public Works Director with associated yearly reviews, as is common with all of our employment contracts. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Are there any questions or comments? Are there any questions or comments from the public? I bring it back, item 6.1 to the council for consideration. I would like to make a statement and then make the recommendation. Mr. Riddell, you've been doing a fantastic job for the city. Ever since you came here, you put in a new breath of life to the public works. Not to say anything bad about the one before, but your professionalism is shining, and we want to thank you for your service. And I would like to move item 6.2 for approval.
I'll second it.
We have a motion to approve and a second on item 6.2.
Council Authority Member District 1 Uribe.
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 2 Fossey.
Yes.
Council Authority Member District 3 Campbell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chair Barbara Martinez.
Yes.
Mayor Chair O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Item 7.1, staff comments.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to take a quick moment. We are going to be doing a staff debrief of the wine and cheese. Actually, I think we're doing it this week. And we are going to be back, as we always are, with Sue giving sort of a council debrief on how the event went, where things shook out financially and operationally. In addition to that, the chief is going to perform a sort of a security debrief for the council and community on the added security measures at this year's event, what went right, and what we can improve on. But all that said, I just want to thank Sue, Public Works, the Sheriff's Department, all of Sue's team for putting on can be a very, very challenging event, especially with the changing times we're in now. I was there. I was really proud in general of the event, and thought that it looked like a lot of people were having a really great time. So thanks to all of you. And it's really was a group effort, because there's a lot of different competing interests going on, as everyone knows, and it's good to see it all come together in the end. Also, if Sue was up there, she would probably tell you how Haunted Hayride is Friday and Saturday, starting at what times? 6:30. So if you have anybody that's interested in doing that, come on down to Jacob Myers Park.
That's it on staff comment? Okay. Councilmember Uribe?
So I'd like to invite the public to this thing on, a Dia de los Muertos celebration or Day of the Dead celebration on Friday, November 1st, downtown Riverbank at Plaza del Rio. It'll be from 5 to 8 p.m. I'll also be attending on November 4th in Sacramento a homelessness policy workshop. It's going to be an all-day training hosted by the California State Association of Counties and the League of California Cities. And then on November 5th, I'll be attending the Access Center Emergency Shelter Open House at 1:30 p.m. If you guys would like to go, it's at 330 9th Street in Modesto. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Fosse.
I'd just like to direct everybody to the City of Riverbank Facebook page or to your high schools. We have the Public Art Beautification Project. That's where you can go, and the city will provide you with all the supplies you need to paint our electrical boxes so that they're not that dull army green, but beautiful with flowers or whatever you want to do. We haven't gotten any applications that I know of yet, so I want 2 this week. Somebody apply. It's a great project, and I look forward to being able to see what our students can do. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Campbell?
I'd like to invite everybody to the Lights Out activity at California Avenue School on Friday evening from 3:30 to 5:30, and also the Trunk and Treat activity that's going to be held at Galaxy Theater on Saturday morning from 9 to 12, where there will be some vehicles there that will be giving candy out, and we'll be celebrating a little bit of Halloween with everyone.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
I have a couple community announcements. The Riverbank Chamber of Commerce is inviting everyone to the Business After Hours Mixer on Wednesday, October 23rd, which is tomorrow. And it's going to be at Timeless Real Estate, and they're located at 3413 Atchison Street. And the time is 6 to 7:30. And the Riverbank United Methodist Women's Holiday Bazaar and Luncheon will be October 25th and the 26th, 9 to 4, and lunch is served 11 to 2. And that's at the Riverbank United Methodist Church, also on Atchison and 3rd Streets. Thank you.
Thank you. In 2012, Riverbank dissolved the ROTA, which was the Riverbank Oakdale Transportation Authority. We had a small bus service between the cities and to the transit center in Modesto. Tomorrow, StanCog will consider, and based on that, I wanted to have a consolidation of all the transit to see how much we can save and go forward with providing better transportation. So tomorrow, StanCog is going to consider a consolidation effort on all the remaining transit authorities. That is the counties. We have Turlock, Ceres, and Modesto. And so the county took over ROTA, and that will combine them all. And the recommendation in the report is to do the consolidation quickly. So hopefully we'll get to have better services, more flexible services in a very short time. I'd like to know where we stand in our Bureau of Cannabis Control delivery lawsuit, lawyer. Where do we stand in our lawsuit against the Bureau of Cannabis Control in their delivery?
I have not asked our litigation team where that's been at lately. I know we prevailed in Santa Cruz on that item, which was a couple of weeks ago. I don't fully know.
Did we
but I
get a
will
stay?
check. Yeah.
For the state?
No. That's where we changed our strategy at the last minute. That's
Okay,
where
and then it's still in Fresno?
Yes.
I haven't moved it? Okay. One thing I'd like to take a look at are the number of speeding vehicles that we have. Take a look at some signs that we can post saying what their speed is and being able to communicate with the camera so we can identify those that are speeding down some of the main thoroughfares. That was something that we kind of stumbled onto while we're at the League of California Cities, and that could be something that we could use to identify those speeding, not like me, but really fast. All right. Item 8, closed session, consisting of items 8.1, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation pursuant to Government Code 54956.9 Alpha, name of case Stanislaus Consolidated Fire Protection District versus City of Riverbank and DOES 120. Stanislaus County Superior Court case number CV 19004402. Item 8.2, conference with real property negotiator pursuant to Government Code 54956.8, property 062-031-005 through 007, agency negotiator Sean Scully, city manager, property negotiator Ametis Inc., under negotiation price, term of payment, or both. Item 8.3, conference with real property negotiators pursuant of Government Code Section 54956.8, property 3012 High Street, APN 132-003-022, agency negotiator Sean Scully, city manager, property negotiator Virginia Jones Trust, under negotiation price, terms of payment, and/or both. Before we go into closed session, the public will have a comment period on each of these items if they so choose. Prior to closed session, is anyone from the public wishing to discuss these 3 items? Seeing none, this meeting is now adjourned. No, recessed. Blew that.
response on the 4 very specific items.
The regular city council and local redevelopment board meetings for Tuesday, October 22nd, 2018 is back in session. Report from closed session, item 9.1. Report from closed session on item 8.1, conference with legal counsel is existing litigation, Stanislaus Consolidated Fire Protection District versus the City of Riverbank, and DOES 120. Direction has been provided to staff. Item 9.2, report from closed session on item 8.2, conference with real property negotiators and Metis Inc. Direction has been provided to staff. And item 9.3, report from closed session on item 8.3, conference with real property negotiators, Virginia Jones Trust. Direction has been provided to staff. The next regular city council meeting is Tuesday, November 12th at 6 p.m. This meeting is now adjourned.